Sidratu Aminata Kamara from the United States of America. It is dedicated this song to one of the biggest organizations in the world, Weird.
Yeah, men of crack on the mix.
91 big boy pecan.
It's your double tap, see the ball.
Daily base
091.
yellow flag team this.
Hallelujah.
Come on.
We are the organization. Don't come for every nation. We are the organization. Don't come for promote the nation. They know they mix my politics. They know they part tribalism. They know they mix my politics. Yeah. They know they part no tribalism.
This now we hard, duck and now we land. So la we all and fine. This now we hard, duck and now we land. So la we all and fine. Who know they back kapu kapu? We had no mixed bag bamu bamua. We know they back kapu kapu. We had no mixed bag bamu bamua. Go tell the brother sister them say we are don't come over.
We are now we are.
Tell them for we, tell them for me say we are don't come over.
We are now we are. We are the organization. Don't come from every nation. We are the organization. Don't come from promote the nation. They know they mix our politics. They know they part tribalism. They know they mix our politics. Yeah. They know they part no tribalism.
Big respect to the one who will make Weird team up strong one. Especially to you, by Bure Kablai from the north. And to you, Shenge Pierre from the south.
Good morning, and welcome to another beautiful edition of your program called Yes, right on We Are on YouTube and on Facebook. Well, we always done the can with different people, and for me this year begin, follow we talk about national issues and ask questions them where you get interest on. So basically, as you come and then you join me inside the program, please any question where you get regarding the topic, please put them down in the comment section. Of course, we go as well try for put them to the person where they in charge. Today, nothing where we can talk about a very, you know the issue I stress on very, because without peace and security, the country in development now nothing. So then we only see a country in development one. Then we only see this country the progress based on the kind peace and collapse where they in that particular country they. And when the great people them again then go begin saying, one of the peaceful country them na Africa, na Sierra Leone, where we can call we are. And of course, and you don't see how best they know the rate we country in terms of security business, say peace we did before, but the only thing we can make we drop again pan the peace business now because of the August 10 issue. So we get a lot of things that we'll get for talk, especially now that the election here now we don't face so. And a lot of tensions them get for the that not a secret whether somebody want for talk about or not, because power in small one nor day. Everybody very much anxious for get that particular power day. We can always talk say the power where people in the fight for not just one green seat where still don't have status, but the one that we want them boku, so we don't know how they go do them. But at the end of the day, not just one person and they go declare say now he na the winner of that particular election day. So because of that one day, we can talk about security, how security we don't tell like inside 2022, and how security go get for look like inside this 2023. Interestingly, this is not January, of course, and today na the 5th day in the month of January, the 5th day inside the year, and of course, we as well they see waiting, don't they go on. So we get one big person here, so where we can talk to with security business in the talk man for the Office of the National Security. When they say Office of National Security, that composition. It means say it join on with different other office them for let them put them together. You go talk about the military, then they meet. You talk about the police, then they meet. You talk about fire force, then they meet. Talk about prisons, then they meet. All the security forces them inside the country, they meet with the ONS on different occasions for discuss how the security business start inside the country. If that be the case, we welcome inside the program for the very first time Abdul Karim Will. Well, this posse here, so in at the deputy director for the strategic communication. And so the talkman where with me go say spokesperson for the Office of the National Security. It's a pleasure for me to get you inside the program this morning. Good morning and a happy new year.
We had happy for there for the very first time, like you say, and really feel honored for being given this opportunity for talk to with people in the salon. It's a pleasure being here. Happy New Year to you and to the rest of the Israeli population.
Okay, so this is not the young gentleman we actually done the talk for SECA, the Office of the National Security. You know, plenty time thinking they when it comes to thing we get for those national security, where people get serious interest. We can hear this man they talk, you know, if you're not in an AYV, go in a 98, if you're not in a 98, you go see journalists then they interview different side, even if you team up outside some security issues that can come. Then the journalists then can come meet her. Hey, waiting at this. Of course, it will get for explain. A post in this way, I don't see. We're not talking today the first, but a post in this way, I don't see. You actually get open door in terms of talking to the media for make people get information. So I'm glad they forget you, and I tell you thank you because you don't do very good work, according to my own estimation.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first question where we go start with. We don't done 2022. And then we don't jump inside 2023. From the security eye, the security lens, how una go say 2022 talek pan security business inside the country?
Yes, I know say they talk about reflections. 2022 the year we been get a lot of achievements, a lot of challenges, and we go only one for state say in the midst of with challenges, we make conscious efforts for provide the security for the people of Sierra Leone. But let me first agree with you in your introduction for say peace and security very cardinal to the development of every country. There were two bedfellows. You don't go for separate one from the other. Who say peace not there, development not going to be sustainable, even if you did it. Who say development there, if peace not there, that development will be affected. Like I say, now two concept them where they only work side by side. If you want for get development maximized, then you also get for ensure say use peace and security the intact. With current security posture as a country, now one way people centered, now one way they look at the generality of the people of Sierra Leone. Now that make as part of we mandate, the act we established the Office of National Security, then call it the National Security and Central Intelligence Act. They give you the mandate for primarily serve as a secretariat for the National Security Council, we are the highest body for the consideration of all matters relating to the security of Sierra Leone. And consistent with that mandate day, since the established in 2002, about 20 years ago, we only provide the cross-sectorial coordination for the security sector, like you mentioned.
We mean say if una no security issue not go take place, we una not aware of.
Yes, because we are the coordinating institution of all of the security sector institutions, whether the police, the military, the Sierra Leone correctional services.
When you say core, it means say even if not very, very sensitive something, we get for the security, una must be informed because una get all the sector they under now.
Exactly. So like I say, we overall mandate, we overarching mandate for coordinate the security sector. This become as a result of the lessons we learned from the country in brutal civil war. Before that time day, we security sector respectfully, then it not being coordinated. It means say every agency will function in silos. Everybody will do their own bits and their own corner according to its mandate without referencing the other person. All man be there by himself. So in we days now, after the war, when things are done, they be a little challenging, it make the war being difficult for we, and the consequences of the war being very much devastating.
And we've been seeing even inside the war, because of coordination not being there, this security sector go attacking company and other
exactly. A whole lot of issues.
Yeah.
Where the authorities then we for take action in terms of implementing certain decisions. Giving left
fast
confused.
track to 2022. Of course, this way you don't explain to the background. Now I make we born. Now I make the ONS born. Now I make the Security Council as well born for make sure say they get where they say coordinate for make sure say they work together in terms of any security issue. Yeah, this not for just grab number go do something just on your own without informing the Security Council on waiting that, especially we get for do the peace and security of the country. We mean say anything where one sector do the other one no bottom because they sit and discuss about them. Even if na emergency, they must make 1-2 phone calls them and say this na the situation waiting we for do. Then basically they ask for advice in some cases from UNA, right?
Exactly. So 2022, like I say, that be year away full of a lot of issues. We get the good, we get the good, which man can say the bad and the ugly. Prior to August 10, any country in the world will get the internal issues. Issues get for do with a disagreement among people who are in politics, among social groupings.
Yeah, big. The August 10, we will come talk about them. But the interesting part, like we say, this are the very first time you can see on here, and most people go on for year or know about boku things them. So in some cases, some questioning will even lead you backward, you know, where you go say it go jump small bit over so other hear them. For let me talk about them because people get interest and then now they're not able to get certain information about them things and they. And in the case of outside the public not get information, then that thing when they call misinformation go continue for the trend. And we want for always to stand up and say, no, misinformation not for the exist. Rather, we want to get the right information. So if that be the case, let's jump with you a little bit over. Because when I talk about August 10, when are the most important, you know, for this year, for last year, what happened. But same way, so before August 10, another big time business will not happen. We get for do with, I think it will, March, May 29 or so, something like that. We get for do the Pademba issue. Yes. So the reason why they ask you about Pademba Road, then they actually don't set up a committee where una all been fend on ourselves inside, where for look inside this particular thing. But in the end of the day, the committee where for investigate the prisons and all who that they call inside that particular thing they will not be hearing from that committee date. But what we hear prisons where na him then they investigate. In other words, you investigate me, but now me come out with a report and carry them out. So update we about the committee we then set up for investigate prison and all the other issues them. Waiting to happen. Waiting at the findings we then come up with.
I wish I get access to the findings and make them available to the public, but unfortunately I don't have that. Like you rightly say, the Pademba Road incident that be an unfortunate situation for this country, and we only hope say we'll get a repeat of that one day anywhere at any time. Because what will be happening unfortunate, it leads to the loss of lives of Sierra Leoneans.
So una put things in place right now for make them thing and not happen again?
Yes, of course.
So they say for identify the problem means say you get for know the cause of the problem.
Yeah.
So if you as the top man for ONS, not able for preview, not able for get access to information which very important for the thing will lead to that Pademba issue. How una go find solution where una know the problem?
No, I say if I been get access to the information now in relation to the findings of that committee, and if I been get the fiat for reveal that subject of investigation. And I should say the committee be done doing work and we don't present that report to the relevant authorities. Now the expectation that the relevant authorities will get the responsibility to come out to the public. Maybe part of that lead to that pronouncement from the Sierra Leone Correctional Services. Like I say, being that it has been subject of investigation, it will be erroneous for I come talk about findings, especially so if I'm not privy onto them. Most of the things that we talk about, whether in public domain, maybe na speculations. That committee they already been set up now, a technical committee will be constitute the relevant people that will get the know-how for able for piece together information for come out with the actual things that will be happen in relation to the August 10 incident. I only hope say the public will be made for know, will be made for be aware of the thing that will happen in a transparent manner, in a way that yes, we know say a lot of things that may happen will be wrong, and how we're able to learn from anything that will happen so going forward. But like I say, I'm not privy to the outcome of that report day. And even if I been get access onto that report, I not get the fair for comment on them, because the committee will be do the investigations. We don't present the outcome of the investigations to the relevant authorities. The relevant authorities now need for comment for the attention of the public, or for allow we for also discuss.
Mr. Will, your office where you the sit-down, where you the talk so right now, and now a very key office inside the office of the national security, and now you when they with man can say liaison or liaise, now you suppose for the between the office or government and the people. In other words, anything where people get interest on, not for be secrecy, not for be that thing where before say na taboo, they not for talk about that. Because the issue where they talk about, nothing where they na the public in attention, and nothing where the public get interest. So when they starve people from information.
I hope I don't dey starve people of information, because for I get information, they also get for me say get forget the facts correct. I hope so you understand that one day. Yes. If I not get that one day, then in the quest for I give public the information where they want, I will end up for misinform them.
You correct.
And
so if
I don't
that
want
be
to
the
do that
case,
kind
it means
thing.
say we not get forget information about that Pademba issue forever and ever, amen.
I hope so we'll get information, because the reason for the setting up of a committee for investigate that matter now before come out with findings, and then findings and for be secret, if will be revealed.
If
to
that
the,
be the case,
as
I
to
will
waiting
join
into that.
this other issue, yeah. I will join the August 10 and this one, yeah. So now as we talk to, yeah, then they do investigation as well, on the August 10, correct?
Yes, exactly.
And how far will I don't go with that? Waiting at the status of that particular issue.
That investigations, they don't go very far, and also say very shortly. That committee, that special committee for investigate that matter, they will come out with their findings and present them to the authorities. We supposed to get the outcome of their findings, and they don't go far. Of course, the hearings will begin right at Freetown, at the central level. The committee don't go right across all the major towns in Sierra Leone for talk to community stakeholders for pinpoint on what thing may really go wrong. It is not about wanting for castigate anybody, but in a situation like this one, now things don't go wrong, which would have been failed for do this, would have been do this, and that kind of thing, and see what we go for learn as lessons from the happenings and they going forward, so that we go forge ahead as a country.
Okay. So how soon we go feel how soon we go see the conclusion of that particular issue there?
From what I know, I should say very shortly, it will be in the next couple of weeks, it will be the next couple of days, it can be 1 month down the line, a kind of a conclusion will come out of that investigation day.
Okay, so I'm sorry, me not to, I'm not there for talk about you woke, waiting I mean you woke for like talk about waiting exactly now the things the way you need for do what you need for do. Media somebody very very correct in terms of how they deal with your issues them. But as a way forward for this 2023, because plenty questions they get for the come to you, and the issue of I not privy to this information, I not get idea about this, I not get the fiat for talk about not gonna be option for you, especially in this 2023. Yeah. So how you go make sure say every information we get for do it, the security of the country. Since now you the talk, because anything will come out, whether or not, now you na the first person where then they won't go to say Abdul Karim will waiting they happen on this, especially you na journalist them party. So how you go make sure say you stay on top of situation?
Yes, I hope say the public go able for understand say information are one way very critical, a very cardinal to the very episode they talk about. So, Madam make even in all countries around the world, we get classifications of information. So information they were restricted, some information they were for public, as long as a day for promote national interest, national cohesion. You go on for let down the out immediately. Some other information, if you let them out, just because you want to give public information, you will end up for create more problems rather than finding solutions onto them problems
okay.
and they.
Yeah.
So in that regard,
So now can say classification
whilst yes,
right?
whilst I want for give information to the public, the reason why they constitute and set up a strategic communications unit. Now for say security business, not to like a secret society. The security what they provide now for and on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone.
Correct.
And it's only important that the people understand what they do, how they do them, and what we expect them for do in partnership with we for achieve the overall objective.
Correct.
So anything where they in the interest of public domain, any day in the interest of peace and security and development, when I not go in any way hesitate for relay to the public. Now that
the case, if that be the case, actually, we dey talk now about, we don't know if in a week, month, or what do we know pretty soon the August 10 report will come out. But we know the hear pretty soon. We know the hear 1 month. We know the hear 1 week for the Pademba Road issue, and the Pademba Road issue is as serious in terms of security to even the people of the country.
So it's also important for distinguished for understand the fact say the Office of National Security, the relevant security sector institutions, we get a mandate, and we get a guide, we get limitation to then we function them.
Please.
We functions they're not limitless.
Yes.
The Office of National Security, for example, a secretariat for the National Security Council.
Correct.
It provide advice to the presidency of Sierra Leone at every given point.
Okay.
Security advice.
So based on that word, I love that word. I just love that they provide security advice to the president, yeah. And so if that be the case, waiting don't advise. Like me and plenty other people get interest on them two issues there. They're very big. Aware of that, you know whose side whose kind threat where them two issues they are supposed to the country. So we get interest for no. Yeah, they give advice. Don't advise the president on how if for advise young people them, how for be fast, how them for fast track, or for say because in some cases people go say report the come out, government the pull report where they in their favor, but government not the release report where they against them. And that we find out in the case of August 10 and the August, because August 10 the insurrectionist according to the government. Now terrorists. August and then you get the Pademba Road issue where you get names them where been come up from the Pademba Road issue where belong to the government. So government they release report when they in their favor quick, and the all report when not they in their favor quick. Forever.
So I want to consider that for big speculations.
Please,
because
yes.
like I say,
yes, from your
me
point.
and you to not preview to exactly what may happen. Now that make I go be really constrained for comment on the findings of the Pademba Road incident. And for the August 10,
you left to I be left for press more and more. In normal time for day 1 hour you tell me say of it. But a period that you get the one them way they supervise your office as well. Where now them for answer certain questions them, where them for give you the information them. In as much as you are the spokesman, you for handle all of the issue, but to not all issue you go handle. So this is a big passive.
Honestly, anybody who talk to the office, or talk to the Office of National Security, apart from me, it will only but tell you this one.
Okay.
That can't tell you say nobody can tell you now say. For the Pademba Road incident, now this person I am responsible for this. It go they beat the gun. It go they tell you something where maybe they out of the report. Or if he tell you say
Karim will. Sorry that I come inside again. If this report don't come, they don't make them available to the necessary according to you, necessary authority them. why authority where they in charge go fail for tell people waiting for do instead then go tell you waiting they out of the report.
So I wish I be for him for answer that one day. Why authority will receive? So in that case, maybe in a day you need for talk to that authority day.
No, not like me. I'm not the authority because now you tell me say they don't make answer the authority then.
So
Okay, so
I
now
say,
you tell me whose authority where they don't make a known to.
the government of Sierra Leone. The government of
and
Sierra
you
Leone.
are part of the government of Sierra Leone.
So for example, if you talk to the Ministry of Information and Communications,
Again,
maybe they will give
what will they
information.
give me?
Okay.
If you ask the Ministry of Information, they will give me one thing. If I ask ONS, they will give me another thing. If I ask Defense, they will give me another thing.
Oh really?
Yeah, because you know why I say so. You know why? You know I tell you about misinformation.
Yeah, I know.
And if
one of the critical challenges all they face.
Exactly.
The
and
issue
you know why
of misinformation and social media.
You know why
misuse.
una face that challenge there, Mr. Will?
No, well, maybe
now because of this kind of thing we
perception.
face right now between me and you, in terms of this particular thing, they don't make answer the other authority then, but you're not aware of that, and me not gonna know. If me really ask question, not know, how many people ain't gonna know?
Yeah, but at the same time, my brother, you go only be capacitated for talk on an issue where you get knowledge about. Any attempt for do otherwise, then you go also the aid misinformation in itself. Now that make it behoves the public for let the exercise patience. Like I say, they provide the necessary advice to the relevant authorities. It also they in the rights of the relevant authorities for say, yes, based on this advice, we will take this action, or we'll not go take X action. You can advise me, now your responsibility for advise me.
Yes.
Also, you get a responsibility for advise me, or a mandate that means responsibility for take into consideration what you advise.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
So these are the criticality of the issue.
Okay, I will actually left that issue then day because, like I say, we don't spend some time, 20 minutes or so on these two issues, but I think I say for say now the same information where people get now the public now still day because we're not able to get more from waiting the inside, especially the Pademba report. Because it's still laid to the necessary authority them and the public not go able to get access or know what's in the inside the report in there right now.
No, not at all. I not talk that day.
No,
it is our hope that now we hope that the public will be made preview to the information contained in that report.
Will, I like that na create with the talk. So you say the public will be made. So in other words, they still don't know it. And at the same I talk just now, they still don't know it, and then when the time reach, we'll clear the information. But for now, what the old information I'm waiting at the public now still we get. We never forget new one.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So good. So I think I go safe now for say I'm not the misinformed somebody, right? In terms of everything I do ask.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, good. All right, so that now be the big security issues them. So whose other issues them we actually don't do? Because one thing where people cry for again. Now the issue of the professionalism of the police, yeah. So waiting una don't do. We know say challenge and you get a good and bad extent inside any institution. So what una don't do for make sure say that thing where they call professional. Because one thing I know about government, the good thing are you not a politician. One thing about politicians, when they're in power, the police when they they praise them say they're very professional. But when they go opposition, then they cry and say they're not professional. So waiting una the civil servants. So make sure say the police get the face where the citizens forget.
You see, professionalism is the security force, the security sector, a non-compromising principle.
Okay.
If you get a non-professional security sector institution, a whole lot of problems go there. But something in there, now that make we appeal don't be to members of the public for let them make conscious efforts, for let them understand the nature of the work we do, the kind service they provide for the people of Sierra Leone. And that make we also they make conscious efforts in all of our engagements. For now we explain we mandates, we do's, we don'ts, we limitations. Most often, na a section of the society failing for even appreciate what we do or understand what we do, then it can lead to most of the accusations which can be leveled against the security sector. So, but for the Sierra Leone police, because now they were the interface more with the general public on a daily basis. If you don't follow, because of the structures the way it exists, the Independent Police Partnership Board, the CED, IID, with an internal control discipline within the police, we don't take very stringent measures against police officers who we think say then they err from the profession. Now a big force, and by virtue of the fact that then they interact or interface with the public on a daily basis, we will get issues, we will get challenges. But now our ability for able to take action, now it really counts. Over the period, we don't take very stringent measures leading to either suspensions or investigation, suspension, or even dismissals of police officers where we think say they don't act unprofessionally. Now that one day, now we preach across all the security sector institutions because we owe unto the people of Sierra Leone for provide for their security and safety. And in doing so, we get for do so impartially. We get for do so professionally. We get for do so without fear or favor.
Impartial, professional, without fear or favor. How would the 2022 be entirely for them? Or then keywords in the way you use.
So it's challenging. It's always a challenging thing. It's always a challenging thing. So I'm thinking there for wield the baton, for hold the baton and control and implement law, enforce law. Now one way very difficult. So you when you find yourself in that situation, you almost there in a critical position. If you wield the baton against somebody where maybe you consider say it err against the law, that person will look you with good eyes. If you wield the baton in a way where the person will get a kind of a mindset already made up against you, it will always be a challenging thing. We appeal to in trainings now that as a sector practitioner, as a service provider within the security sector, you get a responsibility for do things correctly. Because in as much as we are implementers of the law, we are law enforcement agencies, make we for be people already above the law. If we now enforcers of the law, we for serve as models.
And that make the
and so in we conduct whether in
CDIID, the internal
in private
control mechanism.
Yes. Either in private or in public, we conduct for the exemplary. If we not do so, we not the only attain to the individual images, we attain the images of the institutions. Now that make for the police, for example, the CDIID complaints, investigations, and internal disciplines unit within the police, they say if as a person you think say this person don't behave in a way unprofessional, we go against the values of the ethos of the institution, you get a right for lay complaint and action will be taken. I want to tell you, several people we don't be caught up in that kind of situation them don't can lay complaint and they don't get outcomes, positive outcomes out of them kind.
That's not true. But you talk about the police complaints board. Then got a lot of challenge in terms of
independent complaint police police board. Yes,
exactly.
IPCB.
I've been get interest by either institution there. I just love, for example, the first post where they may put there. I've been just love the way how it handle things. Them, take to the different people that we don't take over from that particular waiting. But the challenge we then get now that sometimes then they make recommendation, but they don't get power for take action against the police, except they get for go back to the police for take action against themselves. So in the case of Usana, the police SSF, not to like one individual, but the police as an institution, they're not able to take any action against them. So and we see say they not actually get the power. So in other words, then they try, but then a lot of challenge there around them because they don't get the power for take that kind strict action against the police force.
So if the IPCB don't identify that as a critical challenge in terms of the execution of their duties. The laws then can be amended. They can be given extra powers for ensure say they're able to do that one. But I want for states say if the police internally they take stringent measures for discipline erring police officers, as sure say they will also get the knack if they're able to understand from which angle the IPCB they make recommendation for A, B, and C in terms of taking disciplinary action. A challenging, a difficult situation, nobody no go deny that one day, but it behoves the IPCB authorities for push and ensure say, because they get the powers, they know they act in vacuum, they get laws the way they guide them. If they make recommendations and the policy way supposed to take action, a need for take that action, then the attention of the highest authorities within the sector, the sectors keep being drawn, so that correct remedies will be put in place for resolve that kind of matter there. But I sure say the IPCB don't make several referrals to the police and police don't take action on them. Maybe there could be situation where they make referrals or they make recommendations and get difficulty in terms of implementing that recommendation there. But it is not blanket that all of the referrals or recommendations where IPCB don't make to police not take action.
Okay. In name na Abdul Karim Will in the Deputy Director Strategic Communications and same way to the spokesperson for the Office of National Security within inside we program today. So let me talk about different security issues that will happen 2021 and maybe one or two other issues that will come up beyond 2021, and we as well get for reach to the point where we ask waiting also will go also day with regards to 2023. Now we jump again to another big issue. One time in there we see Usai from the president, later we see Usai the speaker, we see the information minister and different people Minister of Foreign Affairs, let me make one delegation and go to Guinea. Yeah. So waiting at the update with regards to the Yenga issue.
Yes, the Yenga issue situation, it is very much alive. It is very close to we chest as a security sector institution. Because issues of sovereignty are issues of the heart. No matter we touch on the very cradle of the country in integrity. Realizing the fact, say, we don't get some rancor over the ownership of Yenga. And also realizing, say, Guinea and Sierra Leone, not sister countries. In as much as we get this kind of difference in terms of a border infraction, we also get a lot of things that we tie it together. And so the AU, the African Union Border Commission, been come in following an appeal which His Excellency the President will make to the Commission, say...
During that Zoom meeting?
Yes, we get a problem, we get a challenge with neighbors, with brothers and sisters in Guinea over the ownership of a piece of land, whether small or big, but very important because they can say no matter how big or small a piece of land is, as long as this person get them, it's supposed to be given unto them. So, following that appeal the way His Excellency make to the AU been sent a mission, an advanced mission na Salone, maybe a tender meeting there, that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and call on the AU Border Commission. Get engagement with the relevant authorities in Salone on waiting at the views about Yenga, waiting at the views about that situation there, waiting on they happen from time in memoriam to the time where they get that engagement there. It was fruitful. At the end of the day, come out with a report and also go over to Guinea, do similar engagements. Waiting and be lead to now for now we get a kind of a joint top approach for resolving common broader problems. Because don't forget, say, aside from Yenga, we also get other border infraction issues between particularly we and Guinea. Not much with we and Liberia because are the two countries and the way we border with. But the one that we would only get challenged with, unfortunately, not Guinea. So not only for resolve the issue of Yenga, but all other areas, whether na Balamuya, whether na the Kailan axis, and so on and so forth, including issues relating to the maritime domain in terms of a USA for function and stop, USA for function and stop, and so on and so forth. So still, we don't form a kind of a team. The Office of National Security gets a department. We call them Border Security Coordination Department. Where together with the relevant authorities, Bingo, Guinea, on we own all accord that let we see how we go for fast track a situation where we get border commissions established now with sister countries within the Mano River Basin, taking the models of Ghana and Ivory Coast. So a team in first go to Ivory Coast for go understudy the kind of strategy where then two countries they put together, then get border. They also been together challenge and they, but even for them find a resolution out of that kind of situation there. So we as a country also don't adopt that approach there. We recently go to Guinea. We get fruitful engagement with the relevant authorities in Guinea, and I only want to assure the public that the issue of Yenga and other border infraction issues will be things of the past. Because the measure what we don't take as a country, the measure we don't take as a sector, now for find a sustainable solution. Not a one who will resolve today, when one authority change, now either Guinea or na Salone, we go back to default setting. Now one way for be resolved and resolved in a sustainable way, in a way where we not go back into that kind of situation there. So that project they well alive.
Waiting at the activity right now, Yenga with regards, Salone and Guinea. Now the Yenga as in Yenga,
yeah, Yenga almost they serve like a kind of a buffer zone as it is now. Sierra Leone.
So if you say buffer zone, it means say nobody no get her for now.
It's almost a no man's land now. It's almost a no man's land or low occupation daily. People are needed on the Sierra Leonean axis, people are needed on the Liberian axis, on the Guinean axis. But one for state say that kind of posture the way they did, not to how we comfortable at all with.
So in terms of the security, in terms of security presence, because we see at one point where even the soldier man them they move over, come out, they were cross the water cycle over, pull some solar lights and all of them things and they from that particular community day. So now that make they ask, who that impresses then the field right now?
Like I say, we get most of the people who occupy Yenga for the Sierra Leoneans.
Yes.
Most of the people who occupied in Sierra Leoneans. Now just this kind of a build-up where this other country they think say that me get this other person. So now that only one for resolve. If it is the property of Guinea, if now that the demarcation on the map and now the solution, so be it. We will concede as a country. Because like I say, we get more things away tie with Guinea than the one that we divide we. We and Guinea now almost the same people, now almost the same country. Now then physical boundaries don't delimit for the markets we come on crossing points, way important. Now in maybe the cow that kind of situation. But like I say, if it is the property of Sierra Leone, the resolution are that from the highest level, from the presidency, from the ECOWAS, from Mano River Union, from the AU Border Commission, and all of the relevant authorities we get knowledge in terms of cartography, in terms of the mapping system for the markets, Usai Salo stop, Usai Libya, Usai Guinea begin, Usai Libya stop, Usai Salone begin. It will be done and it will be done in a sustainable manner, in a way that I will get that kind. Now that make the vogue now for see how countries within them this subcontinent will establish border commissions. Because if we get border commissions established, then commissions and they will be exclusively mandated for look at the issues then. Because border issues are one way very cardinal. Most countries in the world now for territory now they fight. I go on for mention the current Ukraine-Russian situation now for territory. As a country or as the Israel, now they seen any. So as countries, we not go afford for go to that.
Like 1 year ago, we actually heard the Minister of Information say the two countries will begin to joint security patrol. But still now we know that we not see the joint security patrol they happen at Yenga. Why?
Yeah, if I be a continuation of we joint security border confidence building units. Immediately after the war, we been get the units established and supported by the United Nations organization. Unfortunately, the funds run out, and then kind organizations and then kind structures and they almost fade off. So part of the recommendation now for revitalize then joint border confidence building units for see how we go able for together as countries patrol with common borders and identify the common problems where they confront with people where reside and then community then they. Not so we supposed to actually provide for the safety and security of the people and so that they go live in a community they peacefully. Not so we for the fact we said. If we in the security sector across the countries what they mentioned, they at loggerheads, then it only means they put the lives of the people and they occupy the community in jeopardy.
The joint security patrol, because when we listen to the Minister of Information, he been very much excited in saying this. Say, for the first time, you say then they continue, but you say for the first time, then go begin do joint security patrol, where go actually put we in a very good way for no say for now. Now a buffer zone, all man, nobody no gets there, but then they work in charge, then work together for make sure say security in that area there and for the people then be assured. So if till now that not happened yet, and now we don't know say they need for get funding and funding way been they do way been there on that area they been don't go out. So I don't know what really we forget at this particular point in terms of what we for believe.
So like I mentioned, the joint border confidence building units where I mentioned now been platforms where they bring security personnel from neighboring Guinea, neighboring Liberia onto Sierra Leone, and also draw the relevant structures from Sierra Leone. Then they sit down on a fortnightly basis for discuss common border challenges. Then they come over to Salone at one point, then they go over to Guinea, and vice versa for Liberia and Sierra Leone. So then platforms and they now they supposed for be as a springboard for now actually begin for see how then joint security forces, whether not police from Guinea, military from Guinea, police from Sierra Leone, and military from Guinea, they together patrol the common borders. Now that one day, now we don't aspire towards. Now that one day, the minister they refer to. Say very shortly, we go begin there one day, but maybe we think we don't put a halt to that one day. Now this effort for see how we're going to find a common resolution. Like I say, a whole department within the Office of National Security, they will coordinate the effort and these efforts bring together all of the relevant security structures, all of the relevant agencies, will get meaningful contribution for make in terms of demarcation of the border, in terms of a diplomatic relationship between we and Guinea. So, for example, we get the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in this committee, we get the Ministry of Lands, different agencies. Now they form this conglomeration. And like I say, quite recently, in fact, it was in December last year that team they been going, November last year, that team they been going neighboring Guinea for go get this engagement. And I think say the outcome of that engagement in a one way send out positive waves for the resolution, like I say, not only for Yenga, but for other border security challenges. Like I say, although na Yenga, they na the radar, na people in mind, all of this while, but not to Yenga no more we get challenged with particularly Guinea in terms of a border infraction.
Okay. So on our get ONS officer them, different partner the content, especially them border crossing points in there. So the question
exactly.
Now is,
Yes, we get.
Yes, I know. I can follow on activities them, for watch the border points especially. So when last on
Thank you.
The Yenga of NSSF?
Last year, a team led by the Office of National Security and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs been go na Yenga and go get an engagement. Quite recently, while we police and military counterparts them, Now, neighboring Guinea, been come day following this meeting where I refer to who been get in November na Guinea. Then can they just come you know, do some posture, mark this and that kind of thing. So we coordinators, na that Yenga day, been draw our attention. Say we particularly the coordinator na the Kisi Teng chiefdom, been draw me attention to that. They say we see we colleague them and neighboring Guinea then come, so German them, then come, then just come post, make this, make that, and so, but then go back. So we tell them say yes. We also expected for do similar thing on we own part. And so waiting them people and they go do, it not gonna be unrelated to the outcome of that we engagement day.
And that now the same way we talk about them solar lights then.
Yeah, well, that even after the solar light situation. After the solar light situation. So we young police officers and military also recently get an engagement with their community today. All of their engagements here now for explain to the people the efforts that will not be made over time, the efforts that will they make currently, and waiting at the input into their efforts and they follow we find a common solution to this for me problem. Because like I don't mention now land issue we talk about, now border issue they talk about, now the integrity, now the sovereignty of the countries involved now they talk about. And so if we want to find a sustainable solution to RAM, we have to do them in a way we're very, very much comprehensive. In a way we not go hurt either of the communities. Because at the end of the day, if we take any decision on Yenga, we hurt Sierra Leone, it will therefore mean say we will not create bad blood between the Sierra Leoneans who go reside on that part of the country and the Guineans who go reside on the other parts of their own country, very close to each other. Then people and they intermarriage don't take place. It will interest you for note say some communities in Guinea that Salone and beginning they go school. Some communities in a Salone now Liberia then they go school. So it means we get for set the stage in a way where whatever decision will come out of them, it will be one who will be beneficial to both countries. So that at the end of the day, whether we get security presence there on either end, acrimony no go there among them people away reside there. Because already, like I say, intermarriage don't take place. Yes. They get a lot of tolerance. They do trade, they get cultural affinity, and so on and so forth.
And maybe the last question, in as much as the area na buffer zone, we mean say na no man's land, nobody know it did for himself right now. But we still see say the party business or the brother and sister business between Guinea and Salone is very, very okay. But we mean say we get free border crossing points in. But in that area they particularly, you see the Guinea and them mount, serious checkpoints with every artillery them in that particular area there.
Unfortunately, that we don't happen over the period, and we only appeal to with patience. We only appeal to with patience. We always don't maintain the diplomatic posture. Okay. And I sure saying that every sane Sierra Leonean go out for support. We can't afford to go into any military confrontation with any country whatsoever. The reasons are very clear. We don't get the lessons of war. We know how war be devastate country. And so not about show of might, not about fear to go into war with the
now just one kind of funny thing here, the program don't look strict. It will not funny thing here. They say it's a way we soldier man them they actually you don't tell me they not do like you go find for like Guinea and Salone do friendly match in terms of the
dear me brother, friendly match not the war. one dangerous thing about war now for let it not begin.
Yes.
War now for let it not fire the first bullet. The chances for let 1,000 bullets and come thereafter very, very rife. So that make we appeal now always around Dandy. Don't forget, say, whilst we don't get stable democracies in Sierra Leone, unfortunately, not the same situation in neighboring Guinea. And also don't forget, say, now countries and we get two different colonial mentalities. Yeah. With all respect to Guinea, with all respect to Sierra Leone, the English and the French. And we know, say, maybe now that make not get much problem too much with Liberia. because we don't get much of a cultural barriers. We don't get much of a language barrier. We don't understand. We say very quickly. So still supposed to be common thing. We dey resolve a quick one. And not be the same thing with we neighboring
I think
counterparts in Guinea.
On the area of Yenga, we don't talk about we don't get a lot of information. I think we if we for access, we for say we don't get success case inside the Yenga for this program because we don't get a lot of information. Now, let me come to 2023. What is the plan for security in 2023? Because one thing we know, especially in the election year, when you get for some of where we very much excited about things, we can act outside the box. Yeah, not only for say we can plan for act outside the box, but because of excitement, that gladness inside we can do things that we're not supposed to do. We go make, unfortunately, we go break the law. So what you don't do, or what they put in place now for make sure say the 2023 generally, not just the election, because the election they can't run, generally be that kind of peaceful year. I know say some security issues and they, like I'd already say, they're not the plan for them, so it can just happen, boom. They will not put things in place. Yeah.
Yeah, one success story we would like for mention in 2023, in 2022, and we'll go on for take over to 2023. Now we ability for police, the Yuletide period is festive season. The festive season normally it can come with a lot of insecurity issues, a lot of challenges. This year we can say last year rather. Unfortunately, we get a lot of road accidents where mostly not human error, now mechanical problems, now problems of lawlessness and indiscipline on the part of the people where they're in control of their vehicles and they. Sometimes actually in a natural accident and take place. We want for take this opportunity on behalf of the leadership for extend condolence message to the people that we lost their loved ones, and for advice that we take serious the issue of we own personal security, but largely we've been get a hitch-free Yuletide period. It only means we preparation for that event it be robust. One thing will be used, will effectively used, na media public engagement. And going forward in 2023, one of the strategies now for inform the public, for talk to the public, engage the public, and involve them into activities. 2023, this year, na a year of elections. In less than 6 months, we go into elections. And a general elections. Elections, normally, now that activity day, we go take a chunk of we attention. It will take beaucoup of manpower resources within the security sector and even the civilian population. Almost everybody within a salon will be involved in one way or the other in the elections, whether as NEC or ECSL staff, whether not permanent or ad hoc, whether not as a politician, whether not as a security sector practitioner, or whether not as a voter. So it will take a lot of human resource, it will take a lot of time, it will take a lot of attention, much more so that a lot of other activities go almost they wait in a way for later they done, for later they happen in a way very important. So we think the public supposed for be adequately informed about the kind security we provide for them. Under the auspices of the Integrated Election Security Planning Committee, this committee now a subcommittee of the National Security Council, where they may established in 2014 for provide for the security of all elections in Sierra Leone. Now that model they now be used in 2018. And we go only improve on that model day for police the elections. One way where the committee did a function now for conduct what we call threat assessment. Quite recently, because elections they into phases 1, 2, and 3, we be not go at the first phase, go right around the 16 electoral districts for talk with all the relevant stakeholders. When we talk about the relevant stakeholders, we talk about civil society, youth groups, bike riders, traditional authorities, women's group, political parties, and everybody were relevant in this issue. For see how we all go able to understand what are the threats, the challenges, the opportunities going forward to the elections. we'll be able to gather that information in like I say, now all 16 electoral districts, come back to Freetown, do an assessment, an analysis of the outcomes of them findings, and some then will be generic ones, some then will be specific ones to particular districts. We go back and go relay the findings to them people and we all get an agreement say going forward, now A, B, and C we for do. Because we know say that period is 6 months down the line, a lot of things then will don't happen because security issues are one way dynamic. We think say maybe some other issues go don't happen or go don't add as part of the dimension for either support we or undermine the efforts we undertake. And so a week ago, a team will also go to all of the 5 regions across the country for seek information from the relevant authorities again on which are the additional things that will happen, which are the challenges, which are the success, which one are the spoilers, and how collectively we all going for provide for and that kind of thing. So the concept of the ISPC now for bring together security sector institutions for plan for the elections. We as a sector, we responsibility now for provide physical security to ECSL, let them conduct the elections. We for provide the enabling environment, conducive atmosphere for let the elections take place and take place in a way where free of fear, free of intimidation, we go lead to credible outcome of the elections.
So
that's
very important as well, you know. I'll ask you this question, and the one for know the way forward, you know, for avoid something like that one day. We, according to you, the security sector for be very much, you know, they're not for being impartial, they're not for the favor, or in other words, they're not for link to nobody. It no matter. You know, we not say the government of the day or the president, the sojaman them, they get all the responsibility for protect them, yeah. But notwithstanding that, not a very, you know, secret way, not to overcome the public and challenge public, you know, on certain things. Then sojaman or policeman not the behavior. For example, you na me candidate Abdul Karim will, and me na sojaman. I not get any reason for come out and say. Bible you when una dey under so if una try me candidate when Abdul Karim will, we will put una on the right place. It's not supposed to be like that, right? And
not supposed to be so. Any security personnel do so, he's behaving out of the way and he's on his way.
So
on his
what
own.
una can do normally if something like that happen?
So in that situation, then if you come to the attention of the relevant authority, we get evidence, disciplinary measures will be taken. It can lead to suspension, investigations, and if possible to even dismissals.
Okay. Now bring some key issues them to now. We see at one point the even Ministry of Defense, you know, come out and say they will take action, but we don't see any action take to this thing. For example, several things that don't happen. Let's start with the most recent one, when at the August 10th incident. We see sojaman them, you know, we say then now presidential bodyguards again, and a Calbaton, then do video, now they say do the video, release them and tell people them say anybody we want for try this, we go send and go na engrave, we go this, you know, publicly on the video. That now one case. Secondly, the case where the Ministry of Defense, you know, being talked about but they not take any action. Now the same presidential bodyguards them again, na State Lodge, where they bring out a video again, threatening, you know, people them again on several instances. We see, for example, one of the presidential bodyguard come out again, talk publicly on politics. For example, the former president, you address a public one, na audio and other things. Them all of this they around and evidence all around where everybody can be preview to. So in a case like this, preventing such happenings in the way forward for 2023 election, what you now go put in place? And one thing where you didn't know now, you did on a record and people they listen to you. What you now go do because the ministry, in your opinion, Ministry of Defense not do waiting they're supposed to do for make sure say the sojaman them be who that they for be, rather they allow them for take part in politics. That is why we see after that situation in a State Lodge, they don't do 1, they don't do 2, they don't do 3. No action not been taken against them. But we see where one lady, where same way so na be sojaman, na be military personnel. It creates a group where, according to the Ministry of Defense, they consider them for be political group, instant and dismiss them. But in the case of some other, they're not dismissed, they're not taking no action against them. What do they do for make sure this election we not see something like that happen?
So we will continue for providing necessary coordination. And when we talk about coordination, it go also with profiling recommendations as so waiting for happen. Professionalism, now one way very, very critical. If we in the sector where they provide for the safety and security of people behave in a way we're unprofessional, we only put we institutions' image in harm's way. It will make we not go be taken seriously. It will make the public go begin for even doubt with credibility, and for able for match the laws the way they guide we with the thing the way they do in public. So on that issues the way you don't outline, I only go on for appeal that for individual security sector outfits issues like that nature, you also make conscious effort for talk to the relevant agencies. Maybe they will go able for tell you something on actions we don't be taken with sometimes not in public domain, either in your own attention or the attention of the general members of the public.
You know,
because for all of the things that you highlight, so
for talk to you today, you know why? Because you make them very clear, say, una the coordinate and anything we get for the security, in as much as that in an individual cases them, but una can preview because una they meet, una get council, security council meeting, where some of them issues there, some security issues them, where if the public react to some of them things, then they not really fine for the security of the country. That is why they ask.
So true. So true. So true. So we don't continue for provide the necessary coordination and advice on them where they undermine the credibility of the sector. Because when they talk now about the security sector as alone, what they refer to as a unit, will constitute other sub-units, whether not police, military, correctional services, national fire force, immigration, and so on and so forth. Now that make we get the platforms, we get exclusively the security sector institutions here for meet and take key actions relating to the provision of security as alone. In the midst of all of the efforts, we they get situations where go be challenging. Maybe some of them on the way you mentioned soon. Now they one and day, and trust me, nobody no go condone that one day. Nobody no go condone that one day because it undermine the very integrity of institutions. And when that they happen, they put we all in bad light. They put we all in a limelight. We not fine. Now that make us say, if you get the opportunity, I go also want for ask that you allow me for talk to me counterparts, now their agencies and they for ask specific questions on their issues and the way don't outline or so waiting to happen. But if the memory is serve me well, actions were taken and actions that they continue to be taken on any issue when they bring their institutions into this dispute.
You know,
because
I like one way you talk, you go check with them and see, because the truth is, we see the Ministry of Defense. You there with me? Alright, the program now comes on YouTube and on Facebook, and the channel now we are. You there with me? You get me, please?
Yes, I get you now. Somebody be there.
We see the Ministry of Defense come out plain, you know, the spokesperson, they talk about the issues they want to talk about, the state lodge, and say they go take appropriate action. No action or no take. Then I go stand up and talk about that, because what they make us say so. We see the same individual then, after that issue they then do the same thing again. We see the same individual do another thing again, and we see them again do another thing again, where they against waiting now them professional conduct where they're supposed to go to. So it's like then they encourage certain people for do things them, but other people them then they now like what I ask you just now with regards the different reports them. You know, whereas the government gets interest in some report that they release and quick. The government, this report, no, this we need to look into, and not release and quick. Now, some of them things that they, in my opinion, please. Now that are the C. So, but notwithstanding, we go try for C, you know, how it go get for talent. Because this year we don't camp and so, like crucial year. Whether you want for Siam, whether you know one for Siam, now make or break.
Yeah.
Because of the political tension we don't demand. Now, a make or break, we mean say, una na the security sector get for be more serious than ever. And una get for be more professional. Because if not, una will get for create a problem. And then the people will buy the problem. You are
So
that.
I agree, say we get for up with posture. Because like you say, and like me say, don't say, elections period, now one day we can be very, very challenging. But most often, in the midst of all of the thinking of the breakdown of total breakdown of law and order, we don't conduct elections successfully. Either from 2002, 2007, 2012, 2018,
Sorry for coming
and now
inside. Sorry for coming inside. But
2023.
we all don't see say this particular election. It just get for be really, really different. The reason being, from where 2018 after the election, we see tension on different tension than the mount at different points in time. So this one get for be totally different. So this one now is fragile time with this one now, and make or break. That's the reality.
So I agree say the tensions amount after 2018. And that partly now as a result of the advent, well, in the Sierra Leonean context, the proliferation of social media platforms. They want them make a lot of positive contribution for maximize development, welfare, enhance communication, and that kind of thing. But at the same time, some other people, they make conscious efforts for misuse the same platforms here. We, in a way, contribute to the tensions we talk about. One of the strategy going forward now for do robust public engagement, whether using mainstream or traditional media platforms, whether na social media, whether na community outreach, whether na radio, television, using community local languages. Now that make the leadership now the Office of National Security being considered for establish a whole unit. Trade we been just get a person, not to be a department. I mean just somebody where they talk on behalf of the agency or the agencies. But now we don't constitute a strategic communications unit where not only they service the Office of National Security, but even the security sector institutions. We get a platform we say all of the communications units within the security sector. They meet and they discuss issues relating to effective strategic communications to members of the public. Another thing we will get for embark on, what we don't embark on already, now for continuously train all of the personnel them on professionalism, on the do's and don'ts for the elections, on electoral laws, codes, legislations, and every aspect of it. Waiting for be the expectations of the public on we, and waiting for be the expectations of the public from we own part. Because we think, say, if we dey provide security for elections, for example, we need to understand who's how we mandate stop. We know to conduct elections. Although we are a critical electoral management body, your role is limited to the provision of physical security. Not to we for go tell people and waiting for do for vote, how for vote, who that for vote for, and so on and so forth. Even in with deployment, when we get forget with personnel and deployed.
All right, Abdul Karim will actually the internet.
Pulling
okay,
people. When people we're supposed to vote, fair for car vote because they see some kind of posture. Now that make part of the public engagement. Now for encourage the public, for letting see the presence of security, for be one where they maximize their safety, where they be one where now for support them for letting carry out their civic responsibility in an atmosphere where peaceful, in an atmosphere where conducive. We should say if the public able to understand this, they're going to conduct themselves within the provisions of the law, vote and go home. We appeal also what we they make. I will also take this opportunity because I should say this platform now one way widely viewed across the world. Now for appeal to members of the public. That yes, now we write, me for example, being a civilian, now we write for vote. If me not be mainstream civilian, we're not in security sector, if I contest, they for also vote for me. But me not, they're not a vote for me. The only thing they do now, I for go vote. And that means thinking about where I want for vote, who I want for vote for, if for be something they with me no more. So let the public understand, say, they get also a responsibility for follow orders where na lawful orders where the security sector person, for example, where they na a polling station go give. Say for example, if there is a queue where people in the vote and somebody come, you have for bulldoze and go ahead of the queue. The responsibility of the security person will go there. Now for say no, if you do so, it will create chaos, it will create problems. Now yeah, the queue stop, now they for begin. Yes, we can understand say situations there where you will get people away physically challenged, we get some issues, or where they into some category of exempted people. We will be given priority for votes earlier. In that kind of situation, and we all can understand. Okay. But that one, they even for be done in a very respectful manner.
Exactly.
So be here with the appeal to members of the public, for let we make conscious efforts, for let we understand we own part, understand the part of the security sector. Not only through that, we go together able to provide for with safety and security.
You know, we don't come to the end of the program, but I got two last questions for you. Number one, not to secret say, when the day for the election, when they do the polling, nobody not supposed for campaign. Nobody not supposed to wear party, you know, message for going to a polling station, because this is some of the things then we actually don't create problem again and again and again. You know, we see, for example, during the registration, at some point there not be need for cargo particular now any registration center when they register or begin go talk to people and say now this one for register for vote for another thing. This all they create tension. Which one are they put in place for make sure say the election day and not get that kind of things they and una not pick face at all, because in some cases that we can see and say okay this now because they support we or they support this, or maybe this now in the this now opposition with for left arm, or this now ruling government with for left arm, you know, for make sure say they not actually pick and choose, rather the message where they forgo it, no party politics not for happen on the day for election, now that's everybody for go by.
Exactly. The laws are very clear, and we appeal to the politicians in this particular case.
Yes.
Now then go make we policing work easy or difficult. Because if, for example, like you mentioned, if somebody on elections day, you want for bank on a posture, on a status as society,
yes,
and say in go even, you know, avoid all of the laws them and can't do otherwise as it's supposed to do in a polling station, it creates a problem. And I should say every responsible politician not go only one for win the polls, it go also one for win over the people in minds. With man call them winning the polls and not winning the peace as psychic victory. You actually they pronounce you as leader, they pronounce you as a councillor, for example, but a lot of rancor there around that you winning there. It will be difficult for you to succeed in your administration, in actually bringing people together. And one way where that can begin to happen, and then confusion where they happen at polling centers or polling stations. I want to also use this opportunity for appeal to members of the public, but particularly people where they when aspiring politicians, for letting them respect the laws. Because at the end of the day, whether you lose or you win, you go on for see the prevalence of law and order in your community, now your ward, now your constituency, or now your district, who say you they govern. If you don't contribute leading to you winning to insecurity, then you go only expect the worst.
Because the reason being, you know, not to secret say, most of the time, the police officers, the security sectors, them, I don't know if now afraid or then tend for the support, you know, like minister or I don't remember the one that way they feel say very close to the power that may. You know, in some cases, they can see say then they can't cause problem, they're not going to do anything to them for stop them, rather than go just snap the watch them. But if not any other person like me, we're not linked to any side, I go do small thing, except my word not send, then go begin slap me or arrest me and can me go. But the one that way they feel say they drive big jeep or then they link to power, they're not going to do nothing. So this again are one of the main important thing where they really need for looking to. You know, because that again can make the public vex.
So part of our engagement now for how for straighten all of the rough edges and they. We engagement not only there within we as sector, we also they do cost engagement with political parties and their leadership. For bring calm, then kind challenges here who they get with the people when are stakeholders within the political parties. Unfortunately, even though in public forums like this, we go talk to members of the public, we're not going for bring calm one political party, for example, now a single room or a single stadium for talk to them about waiting them for do, waiting for tell them people them and so on and so forth. However, within the structure, we get the political parties liaison committee where we all part of, including political parties. Now, their forums here, their issues are where they mentioned so. Now, issues where they're very close to the heart of the people where they within then committee forum here. For say, this kind of conduct, where some people they do during elections, it undermine the peace and security of the very election itself. And so going forward, we will continue for hammer home them point here, and we will continue for take a posture for tell we personnel the way they on ground that you did it for implement the law. You did it for ensure say people can behave within the provisions of the law. No matter how that be, you get a responsibility for drawing attention respectfully that sir or ma, this way you do so, get the tendency for create insecurity. Now, yeah, it takes the individual police officer or military officer or an ONS personnel for get the courage for say, please, sir, this way you do so not correct. And me, having witnessed several elections as a civilian security person, I don't prevail, I don't dey in situations which I then can't think that they happen respectfully. We able for engage the people or the person in question, able for make her for understand why you know for do what you want for do or how you want for do them, rather for follow the due process. So I'm thinking most often now the urge, because maybe I think say now me and Mr. Will, me a spokesperson for ONS, and I want to go vote any side, just to vote tomorrow. I know they even talk to the people them. Now they the problems in there. The first thing way they do now for engage with the public. The second thing way they do now for also engage with the officers. Then they understand say by virtue of you work. For example, say now you get for go present, you have to talk to the people them about elections and that kind of thing. If you say let go to after line from morning till night, a lot of critical information they will have to relate to the public will be difficult for them to do them. But he also there as your responsibility for let you identify yourself to the authorities. For example, when elections registration may go on, I've been get for can work, I've been get for even come na television on that day na AYV, and I've been get a timeline. I've been finding it difficult in the other time for go actually team up and register within the area because the lines have been very, very much long. It take time for this and that kind of thing. I go identify myself, me and this person, I'll get a television program, I get for go day, but do I want for let you assist for talk to the public, say, me and this person, I need for be registered and registered early. Indeed, the person come and announce this person, they open this office, do you allow the public joyously?
So the public can actually elect for you some of them things and then can
exactly.
Assist. But in the case of Musa, you feel say now you get the power and one just one for doing
exactly.
and then the public in there. Okay, let's go to the last question because I just tell you say we ask 2 questions and then we done the program for today. This one I think we plenty people can for talk about. Now I think we plenty other people not can for talk about. But if fine for let we get an update on that day. Recently, it get for do with one way border way they call Adebayo. You know, recently, you know, the government's been done they see how best they can able for coordinate with the government of Netherlands for see how they can extradite. In other words, how they can return them back to the country. Waiting at the update with regards that one
day. My brother, the issue of the name we just mentioned.
Whose name?
Now one way.
Whose name?
Adebayo.
Okay.
Adebayo.
Okay.
So
yeah.
we say in the Netherlands. Now one way very critical to the security of this country. And me normally I'm not one for comment on individual actions, especially in our public forums like this, because it get the tendency for let people misunderstand from which angle they come out. But On that update day, sadly, again, I get for disappointed, say I not get information on that one day. But generally, me appeal over the period don't be that we get a lot of Sierra Leoneans abroad where they make conscious efforts for let peace and security prevail. Now the country of them birth, now the country of their origin. No matter how long people in the overseas, then go one day one for come back na salon, either na for can stay or can visit, and so on and so forth. You don't go on forget a turned up society, a society where they shattered, where people be divided across tribal lines, political lines, and so on and so forth. You go out for come na a society where you get the opportunity for go across every length and breadth of the country without any fear or whatever or favor. We know that the efforts of them Sierra Leoneans and they, where they are abroad, where they contribute positively to the development of Sierra Leone, they don't go a long way for help alone. But at the same time, a few other people, then they now then countries them, unfortunately enjoying the peace and tranquility of their country within they, and for send back incendiary messages to countries where they consider for being their own country. We appeal to them now that they owe them to Salon, they owe them to the people of Sierra Leone, they owe them to generations unborn. I should say, you know, one for be presented in history in the next 100 years for this somebody will be contribute negatively to the development of Sierra Leone. Whilst we appreciate, as a personal person, I appreciate the fact that we get with Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters overseas where they do well. Because when they do well, they're going for also help families back home. We also don't appeal to the Sierra Leoneans and the way they are abroad. We get the benefits of wealth, we get the benefits of education, we get the benefits of actually seeing what in liberal democratic practices mean, for let them make conscious efforts, for talk to other people the way they like their countries and they where they do things and where they ordinarily bring calm, rancor within the country. So I should say, if you talk to the Ministry of Information or the Ministry of Information and Communication, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, they go for give an update on that one day.
Yeah, okay. The reason why I ask you,
the reason
why I ask you because this one again get for do with security. That's why I ask, because we don't see, the August 10 incident, for example, the president, one of the center of in discussion or the focus of the discussion be around Adebayo, for example. And then we see the Minister of Information, Minister of Foreign Affairs as well do a Facebook Live the other day say that they in touch with the Netherlands government for this thing. That is why we want for get an update on how far the government don't go, whether they succeed or they don't fail in their attempts. Now that's make I ask you.
Yeah, well, so now the Ministry of Information and Communications and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, they actually forgive and a status update on now and then. But like I say, let me make this point. Personally, it not go be in the interest for them to extradite any Sierra Leonean. Because I know what thing that they go mean, not only to him, but to other people that will come after them, who they survive behind them. So that make part of our approach and forget the dialogue, for hold the dialogue, for talk to them people and they, that let them hold Sierra Leone in good faith.
So yes, don't begin the dialogue at all with some of them people and they?
Well, unfortunately, with dialogue, you only be in them public forum, them public addresses, and that kind of thing.
Appeal, go be message go reach to
public
them.
Appeal.
Yeah.
Yes, and the appeals not only they to them, but also they to like UNA, where they do well for Sierra Leone, for see how they're going for reach out to them kind of people and they either through forums, public forums, so they're going for listen. Probably it will be difficult, for example, for some of them people and they maybe for letting they don't even follow what's in the happen at AYV or follow what's in the happen at other forums because they get their own platforms. So if you they overseas, you sabi them platform and they outside people and they where they do that kind of thing them, you go advise and say, hey, this is the way they happen. So you get the tendency or don't create a lot of problems as alone. But could send the way some of them pronouncement the people and they make. It don't lead to the destructions of lives and property. It don't lead to the loss of valuable lives. And I don't think that kind of thing they want for the country. One day, where the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, they go around schools for conduct vaccination to schools. Not a new thing that will only happen since time immemorial. Somebody come on social media and say, una see them, then they go give this kind of injection to una picking them.
Lead to the loss of life.
So the death of somebody will die, somebody die, a woman will die. You know, so now that kind of appeal and how they make, where they continue for make them, because they say bad boost you there for three bad picking. If we consider that thing the way that person they do as bad one, we will only continue for engage and appeal to them for like, a refrain from them thing. And they maybe not to in one. And sometimes in no more they can't voice out, they can't in a way they voice out too. For other people and the way they even support in cause. For appeal to them people and they say, let we search with consciences. Because if this is where they happen so, it continue for happen at a time where you there in authority, you don't go let them. Okay. You don't go one for let it happen so. You don't go make for the safety and security of your country. So do you not support them that in the appeal?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know you know say in some cases you disappoint me this morning. Now you talk out, I don't know, me I don't feel disappointed. I know they actually disappointed
because I don't go for you the update so you require.
We just want for the people and get the information for let we avoid that misinformation. Now that make me ask you, and the reason that we make I ask you a quick question, and I'm glad that you answer. You answer me question and not come back at me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, I want to appreciate you time where you join me inside this program, and I look forward for get another fruitful discussion there with you as we go very close to the election, because it go really nice for when they talk about serious issues them we go for do with national interest, you know, and things them way people who really want for the area board. So one more time, I appreciate you and get yourself a very good day. And I wish you all the best as you did in that particular position day for the talk to people. God bless you.
Thank you very much. God bless you too. Thank you, people of Sierra Leone.
All right. In name na Abdul Karim Will, we na the deputy director, we na the strategic communications, and same way so na the talkman for the Office of National Security. Now, yeah, so Colres the Lefty for this morning. Plenty thank you to the producer for this program. We na Elias Abba, we actually done the try for put things them in place for make we actually get the information where we need the right information. And my name is Sembe Pierre, the freedom fighter. Until we meet again, it's another beautiful edition. One for say God bless we country Sierra Leone, where we can call we are. Thank you very much. Thank you for where you come and like, you will share, you will comment, and you will just come and view. We appreciate you. God bless you all. Get yourself a good day.
This song come up from Madam Sidra to Aminata Kamara from the United States of America. It dedicated this song to one of the biggest organizations in the world, Weird.
Yeah.
Made of crack on the mix.
91 big boy picking.
Daily days 091.
Yellow flags in this.